On The Focus tonight, we'll meet one of Japan's most successful architects. He's a former boxer who went on to win the architecture world's top honor, the Pritzker Prize, and he's entirely self-taught. I'm talking about Tadao Ando. NHK World's Minori Takao spent time with him, and she joins us now.
Yes, thank you for having me over. Ando has had quite a unique career, but he was so drawn to architecture that he decided, hey, I will travel the world and actually see these sites for myself.
And you know, when I think of Ando, I think of those smooth concrete, you know.
Yes, that is definitely his signature style, but he's also very famous for the way he uses nature. You know, for example, there's a church in Osaka that is made of concrete, of course, and from there's a slit in this wall.
Oh, so the slit is a cross.
Yes,
and the sunlight is coming in from that.
That's right. And then also, there's an art museum in Venice. This is the one. He added signature concrete to the interior of a centuries-old brick building. And more recently, he designed an opera house in Shanghai. It looks like it's floating on water, and the holes bored through it play a very playful facade.
Another thing, but recently he drew some criticism. He was among the team that chose the stadium for the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, and that stadium has a lot of problems now, apparently.
You are right. You know, some do say that this stadium that was finally chosen is too big or too expensive. Ando thought that it would actually stimulate Tokyo and the people in the city. Well, he's always been a man that takes on many challenges, and in fact, he's taking on his own almost biggest challenge right now. He has undergone major surgeries for life-threatening diseases, but he's not letting it slow him down. Tadao Ando was at a construction site in northern Japan. He designed this tunnel for a Buddha statue. It's the first time he's come here since he had a major operation last summer. Ando was diagnosed with cancer and first had his gallbladder and duodenum removed. Then more cancer turned up and his pancreas and spleen were taken out. He still goes in for regular checkups and takes medication.
I asked the doctor if anyone's ever maintained his strength after losing the pancreas and spleen. He said patients have stayed alive, but no one's kept the strength he had before. So he told me to become a model of recovery.
You knew you might not get better when you had to decide whether to go through with the surgery.
People live on while they're meant to, so we might as well make every effort we can until we die.
One of the efforts that Ando is devoted to is revitalizing Naoshima. He's been working on this island in Japan's inland sea for almost 30 years. Recently, he's been concentrating on preserving its assets. This 100-year-old traditional wooden house is one example. Many structures of this type line the narrow streets, standing as evidence of the country's architectural history. Parts of the roof and pillars had grown old, but Ando preserved as much as he could. He added concrete walls and modern designs inside. The house now should be good for another 100 years.
Valuing and preserving old buildings and creating architecture that is unique to the place. This leads to the creation of an environment that can only be experienced in a particular locale.
Ando is also creating a forest on the island. Planting cherry trees is another way for him to design the environment. The island of Naoshima suffered from a period of pollution when factories emitted industrial waste. The hills turned bare. 300 cherry trees will fill the forest, and Ando hopes they will be a symbol of hope for the future.
Architecture isn't durable. It decays with time, but nature will expand if treated with respect and care. I want the children of this island to grow up seeing cherry blossoms
Another effort Ando is now making is educating young people. His own office is full of up-and-coming architects. Whenever he calls, they ready themselves for some tough love.
こんな薄い棚は棚になれへんねん。だからその常識がない竹内の場合は前から常識やでこれこうグッと。
Architectural skills are only part of what he's passing on to them. He wants them to understand his way of approaching work and life. Ando uses various means to deliver his message. What are those stamps for?
One means incompetent, the other one means get out. If anyone brings something to me I feel is useless, I put a stamp on it.
Ando travels across the country to speak to students on a volunteer basis. Hundreds from Japan and abroad gathered at this event to hear what he had to say.
Young people must think globally as you pursue your careers. Japanese students like to play it safe. You have to face the future and not be at ease. Uncertainty will be your biggest strength.
The inspiration I got from Mr. Ando will help me to conduct my research better, and I hope my research will be useful for my country.
His message made me realize that if you tackle something head-on, you can move others.
Ando is maintaining his own forward motion as he encourages the next generation to do the same.
Just being alive isn't sufficient. You have to enjoy it. Young people need to find the desire to do things that are exciting and new, and they must consider whether society will be inspired by what they do.
How is he doing with his health condition? What was he telling you about that?
Well, honestly speaking, spending time with him, if you follow him around for a day or two, you start noticing how packed his schedule is. He makes it look as if it's nothing, but I'm sure it's not that easy. He really does make it look easy, but he, for example, in Naoshima, we spent a day. He did 4 symposiums that day, each at least an hour. I had to struggle to keep up with him.
Well, Minori, what stuck with me was when he said architecture isn't durable. And it seems that he's really trying hard to nurture the environment.
He certainly is. We talked about the cherry trees in Naoshima. He's actually also now planting a forest, making a forest in a landfill in Tokyo Bay. These activities for him, these projects, are almost as important, or if not more important for him versus the architecture that he's actually making. Things like that, restoring old construction, educating young people, they are all ways in which Ando is laying foundations for the future.
Thank you, Minori.
Thank you.